going to look at the New Age movement. We're going to look at a new world order. We're going to look at the book of Revelation, or at least relate to some scriptures, refer to some scriptures that pertains to the time and the hour that we're in. Hopefully to make some sense in the direction that the world is going right now, and to give some answers and understanding as to why things are what in fact they are right now. Now, as I've explained to y'all many times before, and especially in our Proverbs series that we're doing at the church on Sundays, that understanding is one of the most important things there is in the universe. The theme of the book of Proverbs, continually, chapter after chapter, is understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. These are the things that keeps us afloat. It's a thing that gives us the ability to endure very, very difficult times. Again, as I've said so many times, whenever you do not know what's happening, when you can't put your finger on it, when you can't understand why this is going on, or you have no understanding of what the problem is or why the problem exists, then it's almost a burden, and in fact, sometimes it is a burden that you simply can't bear. That's when understanding comes into the picture. Once we have understanding as to what's happening and why it's happening, where it may not make the problem go away, the understanding gives us the ability to understand why it's happening, what it's here for, and with that understanding comes the way out of it. So that's how come once you understand what's wrong, once you understand what's causing the problem, that's why you immediately feel a release, less pressure, less weight. And that's why understanding is such a valuable thing. Now, we are have reached the stage now that we are in unprecedented events, as far as here in America goes. And that is exactly what the Bible was forewarning us of and telling us was coming. It's what I said for years and years and years on television. That all these things people was doing to write books and sell books about new moons and blood moons. I've always said, all of those things happen pretty much at a given time, has happened, will happen. They're not unprecedented events. What we're looking for, said years ago, we're looking for unprecedented events. That's what we're moving into, trouble such as the world has never known nor shall ever know again. It's not the rising of a moon that has done it throughout all of history and will continue its same course. It is unprecedented events that revolves around humanity and his attempt to take full control of the entire world. Iniquity. Iniquity because lawlessness, iniquity, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. We see all through the book of Daniel, the events that's going to take place, the forcing in of a one world system, of a global order. We see what that causes in the book of Revelation. We see 1/4 of the earth destroyed, a third destroyed, and then another third destroyed. We see all of these unprecedented events, trouble such as the world has never known, nor shall ever know again. Now, I can't sit here and pretend that what is happening is not happening. I am not ignorant, at least not so much, that I don't know that there is tremendous anxiety. I feel it, and everybody else feels it. But I know that the anxiety could be and would be 1,000,000 times worse if I was walking in the dark, and sometimes we disguise the anxiety and we just stay drunk all the time. We stay doped all the time. It's called running from reality. I understand that if I did not understand what was going on, if I did not clearly see it established in the Bible and been preaching it for more than 30 years, then I would be completely in a different situation than I am now. But we have known for years this was coming. We have detailed it for years, and here it is. So there is no surprise. I am not bewildered. I'm not taken aback. I know what's happening and been expecting it, and been telling others for the better part of 30 years. So here it is. We know and we understand where we are, and we understand what's coming. So I can't sit here and pretend, okay, people's anxious and I need to make you feel better. No. If a rain is coming, if the storm, if the flood is coming, Noah cannot stop building the ark because it's causing some people anxiety. He has to keep building the ark because it is coming. Now, with that, I want to explain to you tonight some of the plans. And one of the things I like to do is I like to go back in books that I studied years and years ago, because then you can know, because the fruit's on the tree now, you can know who was shooting straight with you and who wasn't. You can know who was right and who was wrong when you read books you had 20 years ago. So I'm going to draw some of the things that I'm going to present to you tonight from a book Tex Mars wrote 20 plus years ago, and it was The Secrets of the New Age. And there was a 13-point plan, and is in fact, and is there for all to see and read. There is a 13-point plan that the New Age movement has developed. There is a plan to rewrite history. There is a plan to take over the world. There is a plan to destroy the negative forces. All of this has been written in their books from day one, going back more than 100 years ago. The negative forces that they refer to is Christianity. They blame Christianity on all the wars of strife and division. They blame Christianity for dividing because Christianity said no man can come to the Father but by me. Christianity believes it's the only religion. Well, understand, I'm not the one that said that. Jesus Christ is the one that said that. So they changed language. In other words, what they have to do to bring in this order, and it didn't start yesterday, this has been going on since the Garden of Eden. What they have to do is they have to change language. In other words, everything has to become confusion to bring in this new order. There has to be a breakdown, and those that's been schooled, well, it's kind of like your child with a computer. They're 7 years old, and they can work these things, right hand, left hand, up, down, every which way imaginable. They're showing you how to use a phone at 9 years old. And I mean, you've been to college. It's because it's the only, they didn't have to unlearn anything. You have to unlearn a generation of subconscious and conscious behavior. You have to unlearn to now learn new. Those coming into the system, well, by the time they're 9 or 10 years old, they've got it under wraps because they had nothing that they had to unlearn. That's our problem. We have to unlearn a set and established way in order now to relearn from beginning something else. So we have two walls that we have to cross. They now are born into it, and it becomes natural. So the order has to be presented now to a generation coming up. The language now has to be changed to mean something else. It don't mean what it's always meant to us. The words defined in the dictionary are no longer the definitions of the words in the dictionary. Now it means something. It's because a new age is coming in, and these new agers has control over the media. They have control over the educational system. They have control now over the government. They have control basically over the entire world. So they are rewriting the school books. They are rewriting the plans. They are offering new technologies that gives them the ability to tap into everything they need to tap into to create the world order that the Bible said that they was going to create. Now, this is a thing of vital importance. It is what the Bible clearly, not mysteriously, not in ways that well, you can read it this way and I can read it that way. No. It wrote it clearly, and we are now seeing it come to pass. You heard, and I'm fixing to repeat something and show something that I've done 1,000 times over, but this is for people who comes in and has never seen the program. They need to see it too. They made the term New World Order some kind of a conspiracy nut job in the 90s. What they was doing was building everything that was being told about the New World Order. They were building it then, but they were, through the media and through the government, able to poison anyone who addressed the New World Order. So anyone who said the words New World Order automatically was a quack, a kook, an idiot, a right-wing conspiracist. And so they were completely cut off because they poisoned the word. And then George Bush, the President of the United States, George Bush Sr., came out and made it absolutely clear that we were creating a new world order and assured us that we were going to be successful going through the United Nations and all the other world bodies. Mr. Bush used the term that then had been poisoned and was poisoned thereafter, had been poisoned New World Order. He used it himself, the President of the United States.
We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
So when we come into the religious ends of this New Age movement, which must do away with the present age. The present age, you must understand, is called the age of grace. The age of grace is the church age. This age must be done away with, and like every other age God has worked, this age will come to an end. And when this age ends, we enter into a new age. It will be the age of tribulation. The New Agers are telling us that it's going to be this age of just wonderful acceptance, love, glory, peace, happiness, love, joy, and peace. But the next age that we move into is going to be the tribulation period. The tribulation period is the worldwide effort by a world that has united itself together to now strip, destroy, and completely remove the old order. That old order in their minds revolves clearly and solely around the Christian order. We are, in their books written more than 100 years ago, called the lesser consciousness and the negative vibes. They must go. And that is what you're seeing now, and why you see all of the massacring and the killing of believers in the book of Revelation. I saw under the altar the souls of them slain for the word of God and for the testimony that they held. This is the reason why it's happening. A new age is coming in, and new agers. In changing the language, they've changed God. God is now an impersonal power. God is now Mother Earth. God is now trees. God is now anything created that can be worshiped. God is now an impersonal higher power. Christ now does not mean Jesus Christ. Christ now means Buddha, or any of the others that you see that are labeled and listed as Christ. Someone who comes along to show the way. But then the Christ is going to come, according to the New Age writers, the Christ is going to come that is going to usher in then this new age of wonder and freedom and glory, and that is the Antichrist. They are putting away the church, bringing in a false Christ, and the Bible told us this is exactly what would happen, and they're doing it in using means of deception to bring it forth by the changing of the language, by the changing of words, changing of definitions, all the things that I just talked about to sow confusion, because you sow confusion in order to create division. You create division in order to conquer. It's a simple rule book from hell. Now, there are a 13-point plan, of which I probably won't be able to get them all out tonight because we'll talk about them for just a little bit. Plan number one from the New Age is, the principal aim of the plan is to establish a one-world New Age religion and a world political and social order. Daniel told us clearly in the book of Daniel that whenever the Antichrist would come, there would be a global economic system There would be a one world religion. Let's put it this way. There would be a one world economy. That's going to be through chip technology, which finally comes to the mark of the beast. There's going to be a one world government, and there's going to be a one world religion. The one world economy gives those in power, Antichrist and his forces. The one world economy gives them the ability to dictate and control what you have. The one world government, under their power and under their control, gives them the ability to control what you do. The one world religion, under their power and under their control, gives them the ability to control what you believe. Now you understand what Daniel associated for us to Antichrist, told us and revealed to us a one world government, a one world economy, a one world religion. Because in those three things is absolute, total control, lording over the heritage of God. For it means what you believe, what you have, and what you can do is all in their hands and in their control. That is the system that their plan said from as far back as 100 years ago that they would establish. It is exactly what you're seeing right now, and exactly what the Bible told us more than 3,000 years ago, exactly what was going to happen. So when a book told you more than 3,000 years ago exactly what was going to happen, and you see it today exactly happening, how in God's name do you reject the book that told you it was going to happen? Plan number 2. The New Age world religion will be a revival of the idolatrous religion of ancient Babylon, in which mystery cults and sorcery and occultism and immorality will flourish. In other words, it is Mystery Babylon. This is what the Bible called it. Mystery Babylon. As this Mystery Babylon, which has nothing to do with America whatsoever, Mystery Babylon is located in Rome, and the Bible tells you in the book of Revelation, get the Revelation series and you can see it, tells you exactly where it is. And I'm not going to go through the details of it now. But what Babylon did was it allowed every religion to come in. That's religions where you could have killing of babies, religions to where you could have human sacrifices. Made no difference to Babylon. Whenever Babylon conquered a country, Babylon believed that oneness and unity and letting people do as much as they could do, keep as much as what they had to keep, would keep them calm. And basically that would revolve around religion. Let them come in and let them keep their religion, and that will keep them calm, so we can rule them and we can control them without as much fight. So what marks Babylonianism is oneness. The one that was Babylon, Nimrod, in Genesis, the first Antichrist, who wanted to unite the world against God in a oneness. That's when God caused the Tower of Babel to be destroyed, split the languages and divided mankind, was under Nimrod because he sought world control and elimination of God. Nimrod would be God. He was the first Antichrist, the first type of Antichrist. So Babylon represents, and when you see Babylon in Scripture, especially connected to a religious sense, Babylon is connected with oneness. You see, the only oneness that we can have in this world is we can be one with God or we can be one with the world. The Bible said whoever has made himself a friend of the world has made himself the enemy of God. For the world is at enmity. The world is in hatred of God. There is no way in this world that light and darkness in a spiritual sense can possibly be in this world and them mingle together. If you do, you destroy the darkness, or either you destroy the light. That's how come there can be no unity and no peace. It is why Jesus made the profound statements that he made that nobody in Christianity has ever even heard read. Where Jesus Christ said, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth, for I am not." That's not a Jesus that a church in this nation even knows today. He said he come to divide because it would be the natural result of his coming. Light coming into the world and the world loving darkness. It is what caused Rome to make Christianity illegal. Is because Christianity was splitting up homes and families. This idea, this perversion of the love of God has done more damage than bombs, nuclear bombs can do. The perversion of the love of God. Jesus is all about peace. Just accept, take oneness. No, that's Babylonianism. That's not Christianity. It is why these Babylonians refers to Christianity as the negative force. But what will they have to do in order to secure their peace? They will have to remove the light, which in their mind is darkness. They are going to have to remove, this is the only way that you can establish full dictatorial control. Anybody that disagrees with you has to go. If they're in your house, you can put them out and then go get them another house. If they're in your church and they disagree with you, you can put them out and then go find them another church. If they're in the world and it's a world power and they disagree with you, you got to put them out of the world. You see. This is why the Bible said in that day they shall kill you and say they do God's service. Because these perverted souls actually believe that the God that they're serving, Mother Nature, or whatever else it is they choose to worship, the grass, gives them the right to remove the negative forces that has brought forth division. But the only way they are going to be able to accomplish their peace and their one world utopia is to wage absolute genocide and war on a class of people called Christians. And they're holy and right. Well, why don't we do that to them? Then we're called negative forces of darkness. But if they do it to us, then they're preservers of righteousness, light, God, and glory. This is what it's all about. It's the changing of everything, and it is the power of light and the power of darkness. And it is that light finally diminishes by simply going out, surrendering to darkness. Not that darkness overtakes it, for darkness cannot overtake light. All that is required to turn a dark room light is flip the switch on, and the darkness is gone. The only way darkness is going to refill that room is somebody flip the switch and turn the light off. But whenever the light, in the moral sense, whenever the light begins to mingle with the sin and become darker and darker and darker itself, wickedness begins to take over. And once wickedness takes over, woe be unto them that have rule over you. And then they do what they've accused everybody else of doing. They cancel you, they put you out, they talk about you like you're dogs, and then finally they put the knife to your throat and they kill you. And it is exactly what the Bible said was going to happen. It is exactly what the rule book of the New Agers has promised. And I told you there was 13 of these, and we've got through 2 of them. Listen, I want to waste just a little bit of time. I've got my doctrinal statement here for those of you who may want to pick it up for the COVID shots and all of that. It's a doctrinal statement. I may have time to read it. Number 1, our body is the temple of God. Any man that defiles it, God will destroy. Defile means to waste, to shrivel, to wither, to spoil, any process of ruin. I will not inject anything by choice or by force into my body that has killed or seriously injured thousands of people. Number 2, force and intimidation is forbidden in the Bible. It is referred to in the Scripture as lording over the heritage of God, 1 Peter 5:3. Intimidation is also referred to as a spirit of fear, 2 Timothy 1:7. We will not willfully surrender our bodies to the works of demon spirits. And number 3, I will not inject anything in my body that has anything to do with stem cells of aborted babies. I believe that abortion is murder, therefore will in no way partake in that murder. 1 Corinthians 10:21, 1 Timothy 5:22, and Romans 1:32. That's the statement of faith if any of you needs it. Now listen, let me make this absolutely clear. I don't know if we're going to be able to survive this or not. If God wants us to, the money is already cutting off quick. So, and we will not, under no conditions, turn this into a money begging program. The fact is, I don't spend no time on it at all. So when I'm done, then we'll just be done. But if by some chance we're able to stay on, then we will. But here's the thing. Now, I do not have money to waste. I am offering these programs to you free of charge as long as I can. I cannot pay for anything else. So if you want the statement of faith, you'll see the address at the end of the program. You just send a letter to the address, Post Office Box 4840, you'll see it. You just send a letter requesting it and put enough money in there to cover the shipping and the cost, $10, $20 in it, to cover people doing it and the labor and the time it takes to do it and all that. Put $10, $20 in there, whatever you can do. But I can't just send out, and we're getting, people's calling all day long now wanting the statements of faith. So I can't send that mail out. The people who do send money in to the TV show is sending the money in for the TV show. If I take $300 or $400 and mail it out, then somebody's $400 that they sent in for this TV show to go is going to be spent on money and not the TV show. We're simply not going to do that. So if you want this, then write in and ask for it and enclose enough money in the envelope to cover the shipping and the cost, and we'll send it right out to you. Till tomorrow, or till next week, God keep you and bless you. Love you in the Lord.
I'd fallen about as far as a man could fall. I'd sunk about as low as a man could go. I asked an old black preacher man, I said, is this what they call rock bottom? He said, son, yes it is. But let me tell you about that rocket bottom. As the rocket healed blinded eyes, split the water back Moses' time. Paddle Rock was in a lion's den, delivered Daniel way back then. So if you're falling on your way down, son, you need to see that ain't the rock at the bottom. He's the rock that stopped you from hitting rock.